This is the line of humanity!
This is the line of humanity!
Because the survival of humanity is on the line! Alright, let's introduce our first two contestants. To my left here, we all know the dangers of mutation and rampant pollution that will take decades, if not centuries, to mitigate. It's nuclear power! When scientists William Grills Adams and Richard Day noticed that selenium produced electricity when exposed to light, and that this technology was improved in 1953 with silicon, the New York Times stated that this discovery was the beginning of a new era, leading eventually to the realization harnessing the almost limitless energy of the sun for the uses of civilization. Give it up for solar power! Pick up your rope and let the tug of war begin! Nuclear energy is purchased from the Hanford, Washington site and is actually 7% of Bonneville's portfolio, yet Eugene tries to claim itself to be a nuclear-free zone. All the steps in the complex process of nuclear energy creation entail environmental hazards. The mining of uranium, refining and enrichment, and the production of plutonium produce radioactive isotopes that contaminate the surrounding area, including the groundwater, air, land, plants, and equipment. After 65 years of energy, there still has been no safe way to develop to dispose of the deadly waste, some remaining toxic for hundreds of thousands of years. Solar power, however, from the sun is converted into thermal or electrical energy. The amount of energy falling on the Earth is given by the solar constant, but very little use has been made of solar energy. Let's make some waves and some electricity with tidal energy! 1947 was the first time that humans experimented with injecting pressurized fluids into cracks in the earth to release previously inaccessible and natural gas. Since then, nearby communities have experienced groundwater contamination and local earthquakes like never before, introducing the new kid on the block, fracking! Take your positions and let the tug of war resume! It's looking pretty close. EWEB touts its biomass project as an environmental plus, but even not addressing an extremely dubious contract with Seneca, this way of providing electricity produces CO2 and other greenhouse gases, and actually over the entire process of harnessing this energy, it takes more energy than it is worth to get a net energy gain. That's biomass! Not to be confused with the process by which farmers can actually take their chicken poop and create electricity to power their lawnmowers. We're talking about biogas! In 1878, William George Armstrong used moving water to power a single lamp in his art gallery. Nowadays, over 150 countries use power generated by water. Unfortunately, it's estimated that 40 to 80 million people have been displaced by dams worldwide. And in the Northwest, we all know that wild salmon populations that have their life cycles depend on rivers have been decimated by this process of big dams!
Thank you, baby. Anyone want any fish? Who likes fish?
The first windmill used for electricity was built in 1887 in Scotland. It consumes no fuel and emits no air pollution whatsoever. That's wind power!
Subsidies. We need subsidies.
No, that's not fair. The referee's checking it out, but the referee's been off too! What are we gonna do? It was used by the Romans in England for the heating as far back as 100 to 200 AD, and it was first used in the 1880s to produce electricity for homes and factories. It releases sulfur and nitrogen into the air, combining with water in the air, and returning to the earth as acid rain. Give it up for coal! more corporate lobbyists over here. What's that over there? Oh no, what are we gonna do, people? There's one resource that we haven't talked about yet. We're talking about people power! From the corporate influence that is contaminating our planet. Oh, it's just as the nuclear radiation is now rolling on the ground. I said, no! And it is humanity! Thank you very much, everybody.